It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aight, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, yeah. You know we don't play guys. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas, they using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me, what's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda abusing them, nigga, we losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them, that's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act, fucking low key with the Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got it. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beard, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aight, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang.
He's heating up!
West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play guys, yeah.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Oh, Santa's coming.
Ho, 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 you lazy beesh.
No! I literally just flushed 5 times and it's clogged.
Number 1, a big gulp. Number 2, Pringles.
You are going to have diabetes eating this shit.
You better go to the fucking gym.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Ooh. Welcome, everyone, to episode 24 hundo and 15 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beeshes, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yahoos? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2 Flexing on all you beesh.
Fucking Catalina wine.
Yeah,
it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam, welcome to the show. Make sure you drop in the comments down below. What are you smashing today? Come one, come all. We are fresh off an overtime segment. Not overtime. So we got overtime after the live stream today. So let's just talk about that first because I misspoke. But we have overtime going down right after today's live streams. Let's get a round of applause for overtime. If you're not yet a member, join now, swolenormousx.com. So right after the stream at the end, we shift completely over into private mode. We stream live inside Swole TV and the Daily Swole Telegram chat. But also, last night we had our roundtable, which was lit. Roundtable was lit, and it's available now for watching. Let's get a little narrative for the fam. Roundtable was fire. Roundtable was fire, and we have it every 2 weeks. But let me bring up the image here. But instead of having a roundtable in 2 weeks, fam, we got something even more epic going down on the 29th. So at the same time, in the same date as our standard roundtable in 2 weeks, we have our Swole year release party. Let's fucking go. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's already the 29th. We're already going into 2023. So Thursday, December the 29th, let's just say 5 p.m. Eastern time. 5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it the same time, make it consistent. I'll officially get this thing updated, and that way everyone that can normally make it on the Thursday and more can be there. It's going to be fire. So we're going to have a lot of new releases. And what's fun about the Swole Year release parties is we also look back over the entirety of 2022. We kind of cover everything that we released, look back on some of the most epic moments of 2022. And of course, we'll drop some amazing new fire content. 2023 is going to be some fucking fire. We got a lot of, we're shifting gears again, as always, and we're taking it up a notch. I can't wait for all the fucking training. We got a lot of stuff, lots of inspiration coming. There's a lot of things that happened throughout 2022 that have gotten ironed out, that have gotten more consistent, more set in stone. So now we can set our focus on some other things that we're looking at developing. So very exciting. Be there Thursday, December the 29th. And of course, I will update this poster and you will know exactly what time and when to be there. It's going to be fucking lit. So we'll see you there. All right, let's get into today's nut. Let's bust it open and then we can last for the entire episode. Falcon. Put some respect on it. Be shit. What are you smashing today? Drop it in the comments down below. All right, fam, hashtag FEF for a chance to win today's Swole card. It's Fuck 'em Friday. A reminder, today is the day that we focus big time on pillar number 1, community. It's time to delete, unfollow, unsubscribe, block out all the noise. This is a great time to go through your contacts on your phone. It's a great time to go through pages that you follow on Instagram or on YouTube or podcasts or things. It's time to take out the trash. It's time to take out the trash. And you should be doing this every day. This should be part of like your routine. You should just be aware of the things that you need to cut out and just be more mindful of it on a daily basis. But if you're not, it's easy to get sidetracked. So FEF is a moment where we can, pump the brakes, focus a little bit more on it, and do a little house cleaning when it comes to your phone. Don't underestimate how powerful your cell phone is and how much of a part of your mind and how much brain space it takes up. Where they're getting messages and alerts, you're always going to your phone for the latest updates and stuff, and it just kind of keeps your mind constantly grinding. So it's time that you minimize and mitigate and kind of block out a lot of that shit. Delete apps that you don't use. Just clean up your shit. It's Fuck 'em Friday. So hashtag FEF, drop that in the comments down below. If you're brand new, make sure you subscribe. And hit the like button. Everyone, hit that fucking like button. Can we get a hell yeah?
He's He's on fire!
Come on, hit that like button right now. You're watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching. Hit the like button, thumbs up. Take a moment if you enjoy the show. Fucking do it. Leave us a review, all that good shit on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Share the stream. We are fucking live. There's no Mancast out there like it. And now let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, so we talked about overtime. We got that coming up right after today's show. And let's kick it off. First Swole Fam post from inside Swolenormous X.
What's in the box?
Brandon is in the box. Let's get Brandon out of that box. Brandon writes, mentality is the sad thing about our society. Everything from the chiropractor to healthcare and the fat acceptance shit. Working as an ICU RN for 10 years, I can honestly say, healthcare workers are jaded as fuck. 99.9% of people want a pill to fix their high blood pressure or high cholesterol or XYZ. Nobody puts blame on themselves, nor takes accountability for their habits. That's the frustrating thing. I was the same way. I want to be jacked, but I also wanted to stay up late, drink, and eat trash. Luckily, and unfortunately, I had a major health diagnosis that flipped the switch for me. But a lot of people don't change, even with major heart attacks or heart failure due to their habits. The worst one I've ever dealt with was an early 20-something-year-old that had heart failure needing a transplant, but he refused to stop drinking 2 liters of soda, refused to do PT unless we said, fuck you, we are doing it, and just became a progressively bigger bitch throughout the 8 months he was there. Guess what happened to him? He was never a candidate for a transplant because he did nothing. He coded and died at like 23 or 24 years old. Little overweight, but not stupid fat. I've learned that life doesn't care. You can be a fat fuck, have back and joint issues, and eventually deteriorate and waste away. Or you can say, fuck you, and fight that shit till the day you die. Just gotta find the dog in you, but like Papa says, most people don't. Well, I will say that this post is the opposite of most people don't. I appreciate that story, Brandon. I think we all do. That's a post and a half. Most people don't. That's one of the famous Swole cards. I have this right over here on my monitor. No matter what it is, most people don't. Especially if it's something that you should be doing to invest in your health. Most people don't. Most people aren't going to get up early. Most people. Well, guess what? Most people are fat and unfucking healthy. They're unhappy. They're miserable. They're stressed. Most people. So do the opposite of what most people do. If you want the same things that most people have, then do what most people do. What do most people do? They don't give a shit. Most people do the opposite of all the 7 pillars. Most people ignore every single one. Or they focus on pillar number 7, but not the first 6. They're consistently doing jack shit. We got a post here from George. Of course, it's Jorge. Well, this is insane. 2 weeks ago, I was struggling to get 5 reps on my bench press with 225 pounds. After 2 weeks, with nothing but steak, potatoes, and fruit, I hit 275 pounds after doing 2 by 12 with 225 pounds. I am so fucking happy. Thank you, Swole Fam. That's what I'm talking about, Jorge. Fuck yeah! Nothing like hitting some new PRs. That's a lot. That's legit. So you were struggling to get 5 reps on 225, and you've been up in the steak, up in the beef, all that good shit. And now after doing 2 sets of 12 reps with 225, you were struggling to get 5, and you more than doubled that for 2 sets, and you hit 275. That's fantastic. Good for you. Always nice to hit one of those personal goals, especially with like lifting and strength. Strength gains are not easy to come by, especially after you've been lifting for a while. So good progress. Good shit. We got a post here from the discussion boards on swolenormousx.com from Kristen under pillar number 3, which is training. And Kristen writes, good morning. I was going to say hello. Hello. Good morning, fam. Went to the fucking gym and stuck to cardio, elliptical on high resistance since I'm having back and neck problems. I feel like I put in some work, still doing some lighter than usual weights about 3 days a week. Is this elliptical workout a waste of time? I feel like if nothing else is keeping me in the routine of getting to the gym at 0 dark 30. Well, I will say that something is better than nothing. Being consistent is the most important thing. I would recommend probably if you're having pain or, I'm not sure exactly what the issues are, but you should be doing mobility work to address the back and neck issues. It depends on where they came from and what the issues exactly are. But, cardio is not going to improve your pain. If you have back and neck problems, cardio, even lifting weights, won't necessarily improve those back and neck problems. The question is, what are you doing directly to address what is leading to those back and neck problems? So you can maybe follow up and give us some more details. But is it a waste of time? It's something. I do think keeping you in the routine is the most important thing, but you can also stay in the routine by doing other things that are maybe more directed towards aiding and improving those other issues. So I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, but I would like to hear a little bit more about those issues and see if you can target that a little bit more. And you could do a little bit of the cardio and you could do some mobility stuff. That could be a great thing. One thing is for sure, the elliptical is not going to improve your back and neck problems. So let's make sure we get that solved, because they're not going to get better on their own. And the thing is, when you have pain, that's the number one thing you want to avoid. And as you get older, as you start to, we're all dying, right? We're all dying. As you start to deteriorate, you want to mitigate pain. So if you mitigate pain and discomfort and injury, you're able to train more consistently for longer. And as you get into your late 30s and 40s and 50s, you start to realize that not having pain is the most important thing. This is why we're talking about in yesterday's roundtable that your training should be a basis of recovery and mobility. And then the strength can be a second or an afterthought. In other words, if you don't have your mobility and your recovery properly locked in, you shouldn't be training intensely. You need to make sure you're getting your sleep. You need to make sure that you're practicing your mobility, your full range of motion, and you're focusing on joint integrity. Because if you are missing out on that, that's what's going to break, and that's going to lead you to slide downhill. When you're 70 and you're just been strength training your whole life, not doing mobility or yoga, and you get injured, very hard to come back from that. Scar tissue builds up, and you lose that range of motion forever. And then it's kind of like, you're trying to oil a rusty joint, so to speak. So just make sure that you're focusing on those fundamentals, the mobility, and a lot of those other issues will solve themselves. So again, of course, it depends on where the issue came from. If you got into a car accident, then you have some kind of impact injury, and it depends. It might lead to a different type of approach when it comes to repair, but not always. Not always. Okay, we have one from pillar number 3, another one from our training section in the discussion boards from Matthew. The Swollen 7 mace workouts are awesome. I have a 15-pound mace, bought it not knowing any better, but used it anyways. Kicked ass, love doing Swollen 7s, then a heavy lift. Why, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, 15 might be a little bit heavy for most people to start. It's definitely at the higher end, but, generally it's recommended to start with a 10-pound mace or pick up a 10-pound mace. I would recommend, Matthew, to get a 10-pound mace, because then in the future you can move into doing like single arm swings. But it's something to, it's a good range, 10 to 15 pounds at the most. But I would recommend most people start with a 10. But yeah, if you like the Swollen 7 mace workouts, if you want to get into more steel club, if you want to get into more mace work, check that out. And also, not to give too much away, stay tuned for the Swole Year release party. We got some fucking epic shit. So glad that you are enjoying the Swollen 7 mace. A lot more where that came from. You're gonna love some of the new shit we're dropping. We got a last post from the Swole fam, and then we'll get into some questions. So you can start dropping your questions in the comments down below. #AskPapaSwolio, and we'll get to them when we move into the knowledge cock. We're going to push it in a little bit deeper, and we're going to get into some good questions. Weston writes, hey fam, how would everyone bring food while traveling during the holidays? If driving, I cook up a bunch of meat and keep it in a cooler with some packages of butter and liver. However, if flying, I seem to rely on fast food burger patties because they are available everywhere. Sometimes I will fast until I could find a good source. Sometimes a day or two, but I'm curious how you guys pack for flying. Do you just stick everything in a freezer bag and bring it in the plane? Or do you swing by a store when you land to buy your meats? I have to stay strict carnivore for autoimmune and mental health reasons. Meat, butter, liver, and salt is what keeps me feeling the best. I really appreciate the support in this group, and I'm open to suggestions. Crush the day, fam. So the answer to your question for me personally, everyone else, a lot of you travel, you're doing over-the-road trucking, or you're moving a lot, you can drop in the comments. If you are in a car, I would recommend getting a cooler that you can plug in. You can plug it into a wall, into a regular outlet, or you can plug it into the car, adapter port. and it can keep it cold. So you don't have to worry about ice. You can just plug it in. Of course, it's a regular cooler, so you can put ice packs in there, but you can keep it in a car. So if you're doing long car trips, you essentially have a little mini fridge and you can just plug it right in. And some cars have one of those, AC adapter, little cigarette lighter things in the trunk, so you can keep the cooler in the trunk and keep it plugged in and cold. So there's that. Much easier when you're driving. If you're flying, yeah, you could bring grocery bags on the plane. I would recommend just bringing it in a soft cooler or something like that. You could bring it in. You could actually put in one of those like canvas bags and freeze it ahead of time. So in terms of fast food burger patties, you can cook 20, 30, whatever packs of, patties of grass-fed ground beef, and you can cook them all up and then bring them on the plane and then put them in a mini fridge wherever you are. And if you're going to a hotel and you have a room or something and you don't have a mini fridge, you can call the front desk and say you need a mini fridge for medication. Just tell them that, like, hey, I need to keep medication refrigerated. Can I have and you can call ahead of time and opt for that in your room. Just make sure that you prepare that so you know that you have that ahead of time. Or if you land, you can go and get like a cooler. You can get one of those like bag coolers and get some frozen ice and keep it cold. Let's see. So yeah, I'd personally bring it on the plane. You might want to make some jerky. You can make jerky ahead of time and that would, last. Meat, butter, liver. Yeah, I would just bring that on the plane. Because it's hard to find a good source where you're traveling. Or you can look ahead of time and see if you can get like a Instacart or Amazon delivery to the hotel or something like that. So you can look ahead. You can see what's around you. You can plan that in advance. But I personally, at least I bring stuff on the plane, or I would. So I would have something at least for the first day or two. Especially if you're carnivore, things are a lot easier. You just got to bring protein and fat. So I don't know if you do any kind of fruit like avocados or anything like that. So those are good things to travel with because you can get them while they're kind of like hard and they'll ripen during your trip. Good. Butter keeps very well. Butter keeps at room temperature just fine too. But you could also freeze the butter in advance and then it'll thaw. So you can cook the food and then freeze it. And then when you're traveling, you take it out, put it in the bag, and then it'll stay frozen and it'll thaw. So like you kind of have a cooler with you. So you don't have to keep it in a cooler. Up to you. Yeah, you can. I used to bring tons of steak. I used to bring like 4 or 5 dozen eggs, hard boiled. I used to bring pounds of grass-fed beef. I just don't think you can bring it. I guess you could bring it in glass. You just can't have liquids. And the liquid thing, it's a weird fucking rule. I actually don't think it has anything to do with safety. Like, hey, we're preventing liquids so people don't blow up planes. They just want you to buy water in the airport. I'm convinced it's everything to do with just you buying liquids like coffee and water because they just charge out the ass. I guarantee it's like big contracts from Coca-Cola and Pepsi and shit like that are just making millions and millions off you buying overpriced water. I think it's nonsense. Because if you could bring beef on the plane, but you can't bring like a fucking bottle of wine, so give me a break. Like you could have gunpowder in the beef or some shit. It's stupid. Stupid nonsense. You have a glass container. You can smash it and then stuff. Like, you could bring a fork. They made me. I remember one time I had silverware and I couldn't bring it on. Okay. Check this out. I couldn't bring it on the plane because I forgot, like in my bag, and they're like, "Oh, you can't bring this." I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I went to throw out the knife because it was like a butter knife. It was a butter knife. It was a butter knife, one of those like metal butter knives. I get it. I was like, okay, I forgot it was like in the bottom of the bag, and I went to throw it back. Like, oh no, they said the fork's fine. Like, oh no, not the fork. I was like, okay. So the knife that was like a butter knife, no. But this fucking jagged little like metal trident I could bring in. So the fork was fine. And it was like a big fork. I can't kill someone with this fork, but this butter knife, oh. So I was able to bring this like big fucking fork because it has more blades, it has more spikes than the knife. So weird. It's so weird. It's like there's no those types of moments. It's like, okay, there's no rhyme or reason. This is complete bullshit. This is complete bullshit. All right, let's take some questions. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. Drop in the comments. Zarek Azrafel. Hey, Papa Swole. Hope you're having a great day so far. I'm trying to size down. I'm a 5'5" 120-pound man. Is 1,000 calories too little? Yes. And why are you sizing down? You're like a twig. Build some muscle. It's way too little. You need to bulk up. Why are you sizing down? Sheesh. Size down. It's time. It's bulking season. 1,000 calories is too low for any adult. Any adult. It's too low. Especially if you're lifting. Why are you sizing down? Jesus Christ. Let's see. If I thought I saw a question. Jorge Isaac Cherniak. Cool name. Papa Swole, have you ever heard of Rob McDonald? Bobby Maximus. Vaguely. I know nothing about him. The lifestyle and philosophy he promotes kinds of reminds me. Don't know. So I have no opinion. Don't know. Let's see. Scrolling through to see if I ever... Scott Asher, Papa Swole, does the Liver King deserve to be forgiven? Why is the only answer no? What do you mean? The second part I don't understand. Deserve to be forgiven? Well, I think everyone can deserve forgiveness, but I think you have to earn forgiveness. I don't think anyone really deserves shit. Honestly. So you say deserves forgiveness. It's like some people don't deserve forgiveness. I don't think what he did was that. I mean, he lied. It's definitely not honorable. There's no integrity there. It makes everything else he says suspect, which is a downside because eating liver and heart and having these like organ meats is very important. So a lot of people are like, oh, he said eat liver and you get like that. Ha ha ha, liver's stupid now. No, you're missing the point. So he kind of ruined his own message. I don't think it's going to hurt his business at all. His business was fine beforehand. It's kind of embarrassing. And what he's doing now is just, in my opinion, even more cringe. I just think it's desperate. I never liked his media approach, and I have some insights behind the scenes. Like I was contacted by his, marketing team back in 2021. So, and my interactions, I was like, I wasn't impressed. I was kind of like turned off hardcore by it. So, I never liked his approach. I never liked his approach. He just made a meme out of himself, and it's not smart. It's not smart. But yeah, lying's not good. So, to each their own, but when you lie, and you don't deserve people's trust. That's for sure. I don't know what the forgiven, look, taking steroids, if you want to do that, if you're not cheating. You're not cheating if you take juice. If you're just a person that wants to take it, it's like, all right, you want to take it. You have the money. Like, okay, take it. If you're telling people you're not flat out, then you're lying. If you're telling people I'm not taking it, I'm just eating this and my supplements, you're fucking lying. So it's even worse because he has the supplement line that he's promoting. So it's like he's getting a lot of sales. And of course, it's a lot more shitty because of that. Not smart. And very obvious he was lying. Okay. Holy shit. Joe, I went through a TSA with a fully loaded M16 mag in Norfolk, Virginia. They never caught it. Airport security is a joke. It's all for show. Yeah, I remember getting through when they were really hardcore about the water bottles, and I was on like a red-eye flight back from LA, and I got on the plane and I opened up my bag, and right there on the top was a huge bottle of water. I was like, oh shit. And it's like, oh wait, they didn't catch it. So it's like, Matt, Papa, curious if you get blood work done. I need to, or I'm going to. I've been planning on doing it for quite some time. I just got mine back and cholesterol is high. Just started elimination diet though. 2 weeks. First recommendation from doc equals lower red meat. Yeah. Well, high cholesterol. Have you listened to all the podcasts and read the books, Cholesterol Myth? High cholesterol doesn't mean bad. It's really about other levels, other blood markers that will like in combination, but you can have good ranges of other blood markers and have cholesterol high, and it's, not a risk. A lot of that's just archaic science, but there's a lot of content out there that will help you navigate that if you're curious. Jorge. It's funny, right? Before we get into this comment, it's funny how you can be crushing on all markers, feeling great, low inflammation, all that stuff. Oh, but this number's high. Oh my God, it's wrong. Change everything. It doesn't make sense. And we all know from the demonization of fat and red meat throughout the decades that there's a lot of bunk science. There's a lot of just corporate greed and essentially lies and grifting that have perpetuated these nonsensical ideas. It's very easy to prescribe, right? To send out pharmaceuticals. Hey, this number's high. Take this drug. Oh, this number's high. Take this drug. It's easier to convert people to pharmaceuticals. That's all it is. That range is like, oh, this number is high. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter about your lifestyle habits. It doesn't mean about your exercise. It doesn't mean about, it has nothing to do with, what you're eating and your sleep and everything else. It just has to do, hey, that number's high. Bad. Take this pill. Make it go down. It doesn't matter. You're doing everything else right. Change everything. Change your entire diet. Change everything because that one number is high. It doesn't make sense. Like if everything else is in proper ranges and that number's high, then maybe that number doesn't mean what you think it means.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Gotta sell those fucking pills. There's an incentive to get you on the drugs. That's the problem. There's an incentive to get you on the drugs. If there was no incentive, that would be more honest medicine. If the doctor wasn't benefiting, if the pharmaceutical companies weren't benefiting, everyone's benefiting but you. Then you're dependent. You're suckling the teat. It's literally just being on a subscription service for pharmaceuticals. So if there's an incentive, you have to question everything. There's an incentive. There's a massive incentive. There's no incentive for you to be, oh, you're healthy. You don't need this drug. No, you need this fucking drug and you need it every fucking month. Oh my God, you're going to have so many problems. You're going to die if you don't take this every fucking month. Get the fuck out of here. Jorge. Papa Soy, is a farmer's market a good place to get food like eggs and butter? Also make some contacts to buy meat straight from origin? Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Farmers markets are where you can find a lot of stuff. You can get raw dairy at some of these things. Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, the eggs are good no matter where you get them. If they're pastured eggs, I mean, a lot of times a farmer's market, you can get really high quality stuff. Local farmers, individual farmers, plus you're supporting small businesses too, rather than, going to Whole Foods or ordering on Amazon or some of these bigger chains. You can help local farmers. And sometimes you can get better prices because maybe they sell to a local Whole Foods, but then they have extra, because sometimes certain stores only want the best looking eggs. So sometimes they might have like some small eggs or different sizes, or they might have, not that they're bad, but they'll have like surplus, or they'll have ones that the supermarkets didn't want to choose and they're super quality and you get them at a fraction of the price. You get them like at half price from what they would sell to a local supermarket. It's always great to know the farm or to make a contact. Matt says, I went home and ate a fucking steak. Goddamn gangster.
America! Fuck yeah!
Let's see. Stephen, depending on the state, you can buy raw dairy from small farms like in Alabama. The penalty for selling raw dairy is worse than selling meth. Is that true? Not surprising, but shocking. We talked about yesterday. You can go to realmilk.com and find some places. And we talked yesterday in the roundtable, some places where you can get raw dairy. And especially if you're in the New England area, in the Pennsylvania area, there's a lot of farms. There's a lot of like Amish and Dutch farms in Pennsylvania. Lots of stuff with raw dairy. And a lot of times they ship nationwide. It just depends on where you live. It might be different pricing. Let's see a little Tainty Man. We got Tainty Man and the Tainty Cam. We got the church sleeping. The pups are here. And remember, #Fef for a chance to win today's Swole card. All right, here. Tanner. You're live on the Sleazecast. Oh, we got to take some questions. I forgot to take a call first. Tanner, question from a friend who just started lifting. What's the best regimen to maximizing beginner gains? There's no best regimen. Beginner gains, no matter what you do, you'll probably build muscle. And you're going to max out at some point. The beginner gains, it's not like if you don't do it perfectly, you're never going to build those gains later, because it's all about the overload. If you don't provide the proper overload at the beginning, you're not going to build that much. But then when you start, you'll still get that same stimulus. Your body doesn't really know the difference. So the best regimen, you should be eating properly. And tell him to download the 7 pillars. Before he fucks his brain up doing stupid shit, it's important to make sure you have all these aspects in order. If you're new to training, any kind of like standard lifting program, the whole point of beginner gains is like you're going to make gains with mostly anything that you do, but just make sure you're doing good form, ample recovery, and just start with, more macro splits like upper, lower, or push pull when you first start lifting. That way you're not overdoing any individual body part. The basics work. You don't need fancy shit. Stick to barbell and dumbbell stuff. You're trying to bulk up and progress consistently and slowly until you can lift harder and increase your intensity. Marissa, or you could join the Swole fam and check out the 90-Day Dash or Swole Season. Great programs for you. Marissa, Papa Swole, I'm 52, am overdue for the colonoscopy. I heard about a blood test the insurance won't cover. That's good. Wondering if you heard about this. My friend got cut during her test. I have no idea about any of that. So I know nothing about the blood test for insurance or what you're dealing with. If anyone has any input, you can drop that in the comments. My friend got cut during her colonoscopy. Ooh, cut in the butthole? No, I know you're not asking. Well, I'm not giving. I would never give medical advice. I don't know anything about it. I appreciate the question. If I did, you don't know what I know. So for all you know, I had someone dealing with that and I knew a lot about it. But if anyone else has some thoughts on that, drop it in the comments. Even asking a question that I don't have the answer to, it's great because then I read it and then sometimes people in the chat have some kind of resources or something and I'll read that out loud. Cut inside, yes. Ooh, cut in the butthole. God damn it.
You lose.
Ouch. Sounds like she needs some of Papa Swolio's anal gel, you know what I'm saying? Dropping in the Shopify store real soon. Anal gel. If you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's from an episode like a couple weeks ago. Don't worry, it's an Easter egg. Matt says that's a shitty deal. Ooh, got it. All right, that was nice.
I gave it a 10.
Let's take a call from Chris. You're on the live sleaze.
What's up, Papa Swole and the Swole fam? My wife and I both agree that you should look into getting some beard beads for your beard because your beard is on point, man. It looks great. Keep it up. Kudos to you. And my question is for you. Now, I just got myself back into, weightlifting, all this and that. All I have right now at my disposal is 2 adjustable dumbbells and a floor mat. And I barely have any time to do anything due to work. And I just want to know what workouts you think are most effective in a short period of time, something like HIIT. Anything you recommend, just let me know, please. I am, desperate here. Thank you very much.
All right, Chris, thanks for the call. Beard beads. Interesting. Now, when you're talking about you're desperate, you need to take action rather than overthinking it. Like you'll get much more accomplished just by doing it and, executing rather than like overthinking it. So, inside the Swole fam, inside Swole Enormous X, we have Swollen 7 dumbbell. So you have 7-minute workouts that you can link together or you can repeat. So you have at least 7 7-minute workouts that you can do right there. There's a lot of exercise. I don't know what weight your adjustable dumbbells go into, but there's tons of stuff, tons of single leg stuff. You can get a hell of a workout. Now, remember, if you're doing like HIIT training, you're just doing you're lifting for cardio. So depending on the weights and the resistance, you can definitely, even with shorter rest periods, or having some rest periods, you can get a lot done in a short time. Now, I'm not sitting here going to try to make excuses for you. You said you don't have a lot of time. You probably have more time than you think. I don't know what your schedule is like, but if you prioritize it, I'm sure you can set aside 20 minutes or half an hour, depending on when you get up. You just have to prioritize it. Remember, it's discipline. It's not going to be when you feel like it. It's not going to be convenient. Stop being desperate. Just start taking action and get it done. You can do it. You can do it. All right. Let's take another call. We got one from Asaf. Asif?
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, Papa Swole. My name is Asaf, and I was just wondering, I'm new to this whole Eastern world of training. I was wondering, how would one kickstart themselves and being able to swing clubs and whatnot?
Asaf, did you did you record that on the toilet? Just trying to pinch one off, like, oh my god, fuck, Jesus Christ. Take a deep breath. Mindfulness, some meditation, all right? Calm it down. Let's bring down that blood pressure, all right, Asif? That's a cool fucking name, but let's pump the brakes, Mochamba. All right, awesome. Sir, he says, smoke another cig. You smoke my stogies too? All right, Asif, let's see what we got here. So how would you start doing the Eastern style of training? So he's referring to the Persian meals, the steel club. This is very ancient stuff. The Indian joris, this is very ancient technique. So if you see like the steel club and shit like that, like, oh, it looks kind of new. It's just a modern rendition. They didn't have steel, when they first started doing it. Or maybe they did, but they didn't use it to make clubs. They didn't have like the forges. They didn't have these massive, foundries where they can, make these kinds of molds, but they did them out of wood. So you might have seen the kind of the conical shape clubs that I have. So there's Indian clubs. And when I say Indian clubs, we mean like India. Also the Persian meals. So you have back in ancient Persia, I don't have the whole story in front of me, but there were a lot of communities and tribes that were actually persecuted. And, when warring tribes would take over different areas, they would, suppress the, original tribe. They're in charge. In other words, this type of training was a way for warriors to practice and to keep their sport and keep their culture going when they weren't allowed to like actually wield weapons, and they weren't allowed to actually, I guess in public organize. So apologies if I butchered that story, but you can look into it. It's actually pretty fascinating. So this is a very ancient style of training. I mean, how ancient is that? Think about it. Humans picking up a fucking stick and swinging it. It's very similar to like sword work and sword mastery and shit like that. So picking up, a long stick and swinging it back behind your head, pretty standard. So how would you get into it? Very light. You can buy these like plastic clubs on Amazon, 1, 2, 3 pounders. You can get, steel 4 pounders or 5 pounders. The most important thing to understand is that you start light, because this type of swinging, this kind of circular training puts a lot of stress on the tendons and ligaments, much more than the muscles. So you might see if you look on YouTube and videos where you see someone who's not that muscular, kind of skinny, swinging heavy fucking shit. It's because it's not really about the muscle strength. And this is the difference. And this is why a lot of people do or have a higher potential to get injured, because you think, hey, I'm going to progress. It's like, I got the swing. I got the swing at the 5. Then you just jump to the 10. That doubling in weight is much more like putting on 25 or 50 pounds. It's much different than going up in weight with the muscle tissue, because tendons and ligaments have a drastically lower amount of blood flow. So they don't hypertrophy as readily. They don't thicken. They don't get stronger as quickly because they don't have the same type of blood flow. And it's very dense connective tissue. Ligaments hold bones together and tendons attach muscle to bone. So it takes a lot longer for those things to develop. So you want to just go very, very light. And this is definitely a great way to warm up the upper body. I always do clubs or mace before. Sometimes I do a whole workout when it's just that, depending on how heavy and how hard I go. But I always do it before an upper body day. I'll do dead hangs and I'll do some fucking club work. And then boom, I'm ready for doing any kind of upper body work. It's fantastic. So start light. Start light and stay at that weight longer than you think. If you think you're ready to move up, do more repetitions. Like go longer. Do it for, you could do 25, 50, 100 repetitions. You could also do it by time. So you're doing a circle, or you're doing like, let's say 2 arm circles. You know, you could do it for 30 seconds straight, and your hands, like the muscles will start to like ache, and you know, they fatigue. You know, you don't want to get overuse injuries too. So you can and then extend it to doing it a minute without stopping. And you can do it to a beat, you know, a 2 count or a 4 count. You can listen to some good music, you know, and do it. So you can get to like 30 seconds, do it for a minute straight, do it for 3 minutes. And then you can get to the point where you're doing, you know, behind the head, you know, circles, doing 5 minutes straight. Volume. Yeah, you want to do volume. Operated Leech 87. Hey man, good morning on my end. Good morning. I got my clavicle broke in three places on bike accident, surgery, and 8-week rest. Back at the gym this week. Lost the 15 pounds for not being active. Thanks for your content. You're very welcome. Glad to hear it. Pump the jam. Pump it up. Steven Rogers, my girlfriend, wanted me to ask how to help with loose skin. She has been overweight her whole life. She lost at least 85 pounds in less than 2 years, and she's worried about loose skin. If she has loose skin, surgery. I mean, once you have loose skin, it's kind of like there. I'm not aware of any way to remove it. Maybe sauna and some cold plunge or some cryo. Like, I don't think that really actually helps like with loose skin. But you're doing like higher repetitions, proper nutrition. I think it really depends on your genetics, how stretched out the skin was and how quickly you lost the weight. Because some people are very overweight and lost a lot of weight and they don't have loose skin, but it depends on how much you lost. So if she was overweight her whole life, she lost 85 pounds. That's a lot of weight to lose. So, you know, I don't really know exactly the reason why some people have it and some people don't. I think it has to do with how stretched it was. If you broke not the collagen, but if you broke like those bonds, like you get a lot of stretch marks. Like if you really have overextended skin, there's really no like recourse to it. You know, like at a certain point. Some people maybe just have like a lot, like more elastin, and they can kind of like, some people have more loose skin than others. We've been asked this question so many times over the past several years, and it's just, I don't really have a good answer because some people don't have issues with it or not as much. And some people have like tons of loose skin. So what you might want to do is just keep in mind, they're going to want to cut, but you can always maybe get like some surgery to get that extra skin removed. Cause I don't know. In some cases you're just, and I would say in most cases, you're not going to, or build muscle and fill up more underneath it. Let's see. Nancy had the surgery after having 2 C-sections to remove extra skin. There's really no way to get rid of it with diet and exercise. Yeah, because it's just extra. It's like your body created an extra suit. Your body created or took more cloth and created more when you had the fat. Then you lose it, and it's like, well, the skin is just like extra. It's there. We made it for your bigger self, and we stretched and expanded and extended in order to cover more you. And then the more you is not there, but the structure remains. Nancy says it can be due to nerve damage too. Interesting. All right. So hopefully that helps. Doesn't seem it doesn't. Kelly says, I'm minus 100 pounds. Loose skin takes time and some will never go away. And Ashley says, the surgery is terrible. You have to stay still while your skin heals. Yeah. All right. Fam, it's time to go balls deep. Let's go. All right. That's deep. So now we're going to get into some ridiculousness. All right. We got overtime coming up right after. Join us, swolenormousx.com, and you could be there for the overtime segment. We'll get into some more juicy juice. Let's see what we got here. We got a couple of videos. Let's pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. What do we got?
What's in the box?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What's gonna be? You bish. 1, 2, or 3. Pick a number. Pick a number. Oh, look at that pose. Aww. Fam, it's Friday the 16th. Guess what? In 2 days, it's the Tainty Man's birthday. It's going to be the Tainty Man's birthday on Sunday. He's going to be a year. Oh, he's a year old. A year old. That's a big Tainty Man. And then on the 23rd, Church is going to be a year. So she's going to be a year old. They're literally like 5 days apart. So she's going to be a year. And the Tainty Man is going to be a year. My goodness. My goodness. They grow up so fast. It's almost the Tainty Man's birthday. We're talking about you, Tainty Man. It's your birthday. I'm going to have to weigh him again. So he's like 90 pounds or so. He's kind of like leveled out, which is good. The bigger he gets, the more taxing it's going to be on his body and the shorter his lifespan. But it seems like he'll probably be growing for the next year and small, his bones, and he might get a little bit taller. Yeah, but it seems like he might be around 100 pounds or so. He's a big boy. He's thick, though. When I was walking him yesterday and I'm looking at him, it literally looks like a mountain lion. He's just like stout and just fucking walk. Oh, it looks like he's prowling. Fucking monster. Big boy. Big boy. Ooh, an extra ribeye. And maybe I'll give him a ribeye. I'll give him a ribeye. I usually just give him grass-fed ground beef and stuff. He has his dairy and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe we'll give him a steak. Ooh, just a fucking ribeye. Maybe that's a good birthday gift. But then every other day, he doesn't know. Every other day is gonna be like, where the fuck is my beef? Where's my fucking ribeye? Oh, look at that Tainty Man. My God, look at you. Look at you. God, you're so scrumptious, Tainty Man. You're so scrumptious. You look delicious. I love you. I want to bite your neck. I'll bite your neck after, I promise. Yes, I'll bite you too. I'll bite you too, Church. All right, let's get into it. What do? We got some people recommending. Let's see. Because you have a pupper in the picture, let's go with Heather McSwade, number 1. Heather McSwade, numero uno.
You switch the samples.
All right. Let's see. Number 1. Why'd you got to do this one? This one looks horrific. All right. You ready? Let's laugh it up, and then we're going to go into overtime. Let's see. This one's called Being a Pedo, or Pedophile, Isn't a Crime.
Matt Damon.
Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. Here we go.
This allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity.
It's not an identity. It's molesting children and being attracted to little babies. It's not their idea. I don't identify as a pedophile. You are. You don't identify. That's not what you identify as. Can we get that corrected? It's not an identification. That's what they're attracted to. They should be like removed from society so they can be on an island somewhere.
Their sexual orientation, their gender identity. So this is clearly prohibited under Twitter's content, yet you found hundreds of these posts on the platform. Your team filed complaints about these posts, correct?
Yes.
There's a Democratic congressperson, by the way.
And how often did Twitter act to take down these posts, which violated its own content policy?
Very rarely.
So from our calculation, it looks like about 99% of your complaints, they basically acted on 1 or 2 of the 100+ complaints you filed. Instead of taking them down, Twitter elevated them, allowing them to reach an approximate 72 million users. This is not just about what happens online. What happens online translates into real harms in people's lives. Ms. Popcock, you provide services to a community that experienced a devastating LGBTQ attack. Can you provide some examples of the link between speech online and attacks against providers like you?
We know really online threats, in addition to just creating an atmosphere of bullying for young people, it also creates an...
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Who was the bad person in that? I thought it was her. Probably is. And then these are hearings. The problem is, since Elon Musk took over Twitter, all the information behind the scenes, you start to see that child videos, CP, they weren't being taken down. So the first thing that Elon Musk was doing was taking care of any kind of illegal content. There was a lot of creepy shit that was going on with Twitter. If you're not paying attention to the Twitter files, they're all true. It's all legit. The mainstream leftist media is trying to smother it as always. So this is not like a right-wing take. This is just factual. So the only problem is people on the left don't want to believe in facts, which is unfortunate, but doesn't change the reality. That's why it's called a fact. So, all right, let's see. Let's just move on. Let's do number 1 or number 2. Number 1.
What's in the box? We choose truth over facts.
And let's get a little Tainty Man reprieve. Wash that out of our fucking mouths. Number 1 or a number 2. Number 1 or number 2. Let's see what else we got. What are we finding? What are we going to find in the undergunch of the interwebs? Now, this is like, we're shaking stuff up. We're going to feel good. We're going to feel good after watching this. We're going to feel good. We're going to go and eat a good fucking steak, come back to reality and realize life is good. We're not crazy. Life is really good. Let's go with Cerny, number 1. Heather says, not number 1, LOL. All right.
Matt Damon.
Not Cerny, this next video. This is called Fat Shame Leads People to Gain Weight. So, what is that? What is that? Hold on a second. What is that shirt? Is that a boob? Oh, gross. What is that? Oh my God. What is she wearing? What the fuck is that? Holy shit. What
the fuck is that?
So before we do, fat shame leads people to gain weight. It doesn't. It does not. I can tell you what leads them to gain weight. You know, it's their lifestyle habits. Someone saying something or they're feeling, that's no. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You can't blame other people for your terrible actions. Okay. There's a septum piercing, so it makes sense. Let's check it out. Fat shame leads people to gain weight. It doesn't.
Part 2 of why this comment is so iconically misguided.
See, look at
like
the shirt.
I said in the last video, fat shame, weight-based discrimination, and just fat phobia in general leads people to gain weight.
She looks like she got her tonsils taken out like 5 times.
It never leads people to lose weight. There is research behind this. It is proven.
It's
There's
not.
a lot of reasons why that is. And it's not because fatties like me are telling people not to diet.
Pretty much, yeah. Based. Fatties like me. Yeah, it's that too. It's that too. In society that just wants your money and they'll say whatever, you know, so they can not be attacked online by the small fraction of a percent of angry fatties on Twitter.
Because when you recommend people to eat less and exercise more with
better.
no understanding of what their lives look like,
their lives look like eating a lot of garbage. Eat better quality food. Don't worry about the calorie counting. Worry about the calorie quality. And you start worrying about the food quality, the rest is going to solve itself, but you don't want to make habitual changes. You don't want to do that, do you?
do that in a very unhealthy way. And when you do that in an unhealthy way, your body stops metabolizing properly. And yes, it can also lead people to do things like binge.
Oh my God. If you starve yourself, your body is going to want to eat food. Whoa.
Which also cause weight gain.
Eating food causes weight gain. You know what I'm saying?
Being fat shamed also increases stress levels, right?
That's a personal problem. You need to manage your life better. You need to handle your feelings and emotions. Meditation helps. Exercise helps. Eating better quality food, getting more sleep helps. I'm not responsible for your stress levels.
Which is something that also causes weight gain. It can inhibit your sleep, which also causes weight gain.
Did you say what? Hold on a second. Being fat shamed increases stress levels, which is something that causes weight gain and can inhibit your sleep. Are you saying that stress levels because of fat shaming is going to affect your sleep? My God, you are retarded. It's the fat shaming that's stressing you out. Oh, it's leading to your sleep. No, it's the poor food choices and your poor sleep that's leading to you being stressed. Plus, you shouldn't be on the interwebs. You should not be on the interwebs.
Matt Damon.
Do not use the internet. I think come on, stop whining. I think the internet, I think social media is for everyone, but I don't think everyone should use it. If you have mental disorders like this, if you are getting stressed out because of something that you see online, you shouldn't be online. It's not meant for you. You're not able to handle it. You're not equipped. All right, let's do the last one. This one's called fat phobia versus internalized fat phobia. So make believe versus internalized make believe. What's the difference between fat phobia and internalized fat phobia? I don't think we've ever heard this kind of gunge before. Let's see what we got. Let's finish strong, and then we're going to go into OT.
There is absolutely a difference between fat phobia and internalized fat phobia.
They're both made up, but one's made up internally. Gotcha. All right. Video's over. Oh, wait, there's more.
However, the difference is not simply about projection onto others and projection onto yourself. There is a necessary precondition to experience internalized fat phobia.
Low IQ.
That is that you must already be fat. You cannot simply think you're fat. Because the internalized anything.
But my lived experience. But my lived experience. Are you telling me? Or wait, are you telling me I have to actually be fat? I can't think I'm fat? Are you telling me that what I think isn't true? Are you telling me what my lived experience is? What about gender? What if I'm two-spirited? That's what I think. Are you telling me that's not valid? You see how this doesn't work? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So this in your head isn't true, but that in your head, that is factual, and everyone has to get on their knees and bow to it. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't translate.
Right, whether it be internalized misogyny, internalized racism, or internalized fat phobia, comes as a result of experiencing the harms of fat phobia, and instead of analyzing and identifying the structures that oppress you, you individualize and internalize those experiences of oppression.
You ever hear the phrase, if you can't explain it simply, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about? The reason why this doesn't make sense is because it doesn't make sense. They're trying to apply big words and complicated reasoning and complicated language for something that doesn't fucking exist. Because most people, because it's so incoherent and just, it's literally like a brain fucking salad. It's just garbage. It's garbage. So then most people will just be like, okay, it sounds like it's complicated. You must be right. They're not going to have a retort. They're not going to be like, shut the fuck up. Like literally, shut the fuck up because you're not making any sense.
What is the best move
You know what's
to
simple?
silence a woman?
You know what's simple? Eat quality food, go to the fucking gym, and stay off social media. That's simple, but you don't want to do that. You want to just make it. This is nonsense. Imagine rather than taking care of your health, you are trying to justify staying fat as if it's some sort of like powerful move. Oh my God, it's everyone else. I'm perfect the way I am. No, you're not. Take some responsibility for your poor lifestyle choices. Papa's not buying it.
And then attempt to make yourself into the good fat person who makes themselves small, dresses appropriately, etc. Trying to make yourself thinner even if you fail.
Just fucking go to the gym. Solve the problem. My God. Just go to the fucking gym.
Some crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Look, the answer is if you take care of yourself, you don't have these issues. You don't have anything to complain about. You lose your identity. Because if you are this fat thesaurus person, then you have this kind of these victims and people that follow you because you are feeding into their delusion. And they're like, oh, someone's saying what I want to hear. Yeah, I'm not saying what you want to hear. I'm saying what you need to hear. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. It doesn't make it any less true. It doesn't make it any less, a foundation of our reality. If you don't want to play in this reality realm, like if you don't want to be on this planet, it's okay. You don't have a choice. You're staying on this planet. Just because you don't want to believe in this reality doesn't make it any less real. So if she actually takes care of her health, then she wouldn't be fat. Then she wouldn't be miserable, perhaps. She would lose her following. She had nothing to complain about. So the problem with this kind of mindset is that it perpetuates people. It gives people this kind of fake shield in order to not change. So it takes people and it keeps people from their responsibility, allows them to just bitch and moan and try to leverage power that way and love and attention. instead of changing, because guess what? Changing would solve it. Changing would make them more like everyone else, and they would lose any kind of value in this world because they don't have any value. They're not providing anything. They don't have any self-love, honestly. They don't care about anything. They don't care about reality. They don't want to be a part of society. They want to tear it down. So when you're trying to tear apart language, when you're trying to break apart just 2 + 2 = 4, what you're just doing is you're just undermining reality. You're undermining society. You're undermining any sort of social structure that we have in order to, I don't know, play make-believe that you have some sort of virtuous, I don't know, position. It's silly. Go to the fucking gym. It's that simple. But we don't want simple. We want complicated. It's your internalized fat phobia versus externalized fat phobia, and this faux fat phobia that makes you want to skinny and you're oppressed in this way. Shut up. Shut up, stupid.
Shampoo my crotch.
If you identify, if your identity, if you're attaching your identity to fatness, that's some pathetic shit. That's really fucking pathetic. Like, hey, everything I do and everything about me is about being fat. Wow, I can eat cookies too and not stop. But I choose not to because that's a horrible way to live. All right, fam, we got a swole card to give away, and then we got overtime. Fuck yeah, we're about to switch on over. Fuck yeah! Switch on over to the overtime. So if you haven't joined, you still got a moment. You could join now, swolenormousx.com. We are heading into the Daily Swole Telegram chat, and of course, Inside Swole TV will be streaming. We got some bonus edits and some throwbacks. Going to be a fun fucking time. We'll see you there. Let's give away today's fucking FEF card. Here we fucking go. Falcon, take us away. Falcon. Falcon. He's the Falcon. We got a winner. And the first Swole Fam post was fucking lit. Brandon from the Telegram chat. Congratulations. This was absolutely Liddy McTitterson. You know what I'm saying? This was an awesome fucking post. Brandon, congratulations. You hath won today's Swole card. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2415 in the subject, your mailing address, and the body of the man mail. And we'll send you today's Swole card. What a great post. If you missed it, rewind, go back to the beginning of the episode and check that out. That's a life check right there. That'll wake your ass up if you need to go and check that out again. That was a great post. Thank you for sharing, Brandon. We need those hard-hitting messages. Fam, let's get ready for OT. We're going to hit that siren after we nut this fucking unicorn. Let's nut Tess Hornaday and get on with it. But first, a little tainty man. Oh, Mr. Enterman. Let's go, Brandon.
Come on, man.
You get it? You get it? You get it? He has the same name as the stupid person. It's the same name as the stupid person.
Inconceivable!
That Hansel's so hot
We'll
right now.
take some soundboard requests. Soundboard. Let's fucking go. Overtime is going down. Beaches. Overtime. Overtime. Ooh, hobo's dick cheese. I'll take it.
How about I send you a hobo's dick cheese?
Always delicious and nutritious. Nothing like a hobo's dick cheese. Underrated. Hairy legs. I do indeed.
I got hairy legs.
Have hairy legs. I got you, fam. I got you, fam. Let's go.
You're insane, gold member!
Look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there like a little lady in a race car.
We choose truth over facts. You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
He said that. He said that. How do people not remember all his fucking blatant lies? He's a pathological liar. How do people not?
You went full retard, man.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points.
Here we go.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
Get the piano cock out of time. No hands. All right, very nice, fam. Thank you so much for being here. Crank that bad boy back up. We'll be back here tomorrow for Swole Slut Saturday. Tomorrow, Saturday, December the 17. And of course, on Sunday, we got Tainty Boy's birthday. Oh. Very nice. Very nice. Look at that. See how bashful he is? He's just tucking in his taint. He's tucking his taint in. He is keeping it secret. His little secret taint. He's such a good boy. Good boy. Protect the taint. Respect yourself. And of course, right now, we got... Wait, what's that sound? What's that sound? Whoa! It's time for OT Yaz Beaches. All right, so head on into the Daily Swole Telegram chat. We got it going down in just 2 minutes after we wrap up. We're going right into OT. So don't miss out. We got some brand new edits, and these are edits that we can't show anywhere else. We can't post them publicly because they get banned, like pretty much immediately. They go super viral and then get banned. So fuck all of y'all beaches. We are going live privately, and we're going to drop it. All right, so if you're a member, log into your account, go to your homepage, and enter the Daily Swole Telegram chat. The Daily Swole, not the Swole Fam Telegram chat, the Daily Swole Telegram chat. And we'll get started momentarily. Thanks for watching. Fam, we'll see you tomorrow for Swole Slut Saturday, but right now, overtime going down. Peace, McGeese, Deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
I just wanna win on the low, like you make it